Mental coding. We often set our inner voice to look out for any threats we might encounter. It becomes such a habitual thing that we oftentimes forget just what we're thinking, and those thoughts continue to pervade our minds. It becomes almost like a code that we write within our own brain that we continue to reloop on automatic. I refer to mental coding as the manner that we speak to ourselves, with our inner voice and the inner energy we create with our thoughts. And if we do not give it the right awareness, this voice can become low vibrational, meaning negative in tone. Oftentimes, negative self-talk becomes subconscious within our own thinking process. And I call it mental coding because it's almost as if our own self is a programmer that is constantly coding the way we react to things. Our mind's framework has developed from an early age through the many experiences we face since we were born. It has developed towards a way that it seeks to survive and thrive. We're always moving towards our basic needs of survival, seeking pleasure, while doing anything we can to avoid any sort of pain, and that's part of our nature. Maslow talked about the hierarchy of needs, and overall, I do believe that this is a pretty good basic structure of who we are as a whole. But that doesn't mean we can't break away from that mold. Having such a mold helps us put things into perspective, even though at times we might be completely the opposite of that mold. This is part of the dynamics of the energy of duality that plays into such structure of who we are and how we perceive others to be. There are quite a few perspectives by which we can interpret our character, personality, which also goes by the name ego self. An important thing to realize is how low vibrations drain more energy from you rather than using that energy towards higher vibrations, creative and productive actions. Every single thought, feeling, and emotion chips away at our day's energy. Personally, I start with an overall universal view on energy, on whether my energy is high vibrational or low vibrational. I tend to have a process of approaching my energy from a focused and relaxed frame of mind. Here's a process that I use to put my energy forward. I approach my energy from a relaxed and focused frame of mind. I ask myself the right energy questions to gain perspective. Such question can be, do I wish to squander my day's energy or use it towards something productive? We just need to create that spark throughout the day. What I mean is that throughout the day, see things from that universal point of view while being focused and relaxed, and move to calibrate your energy. Make this into a subconscious automatic habit. When we begin giving ourselves objective answers, then we can pick which one can be the best applicable one towards our energy in that point in time. Even low vibrational energy can be subject to be approached and handled from a relaxed and focused universal perspective. This is something we don't do often, as we're oftentimes reactive to low vibrations. But let's further develop this so that we can really utilize it. Negative thoughts are not destructive within themselves. Negative thoughts have the potential to become destructive when we give them energy and time. And it is natural for negative thoughts to pop up within our heads quite often, yet it is what we do with them that truly matters. Negative thoughts are natural, and they will be there from time to time. They do become an issue when they transform to habitual, low vibrations that become energy that drives us to do negative things, bad things, destructive actions. Remember that energy is either growing or diminishing. It never stays in one place. Our negative thoughts are emanating from the energy within our framework that exists within our ego self. Therefore, it is our ego self that is emanating those negative thoughts. Now the question becomes, what can you do? We must put our higher self forward into leading. If you allow your ego to take the lead and go down this path of negative self-talk towards ourselves or others, then we're yielding and building up bad energy. The first step is to gain enough awareness that you might be going down the road of negative self-talk so that you may quickly change it in the direction you want. The more we practice in gaining awareness in such instances, the better we get at doing so. Patience and good honest effort will bring you the desired results, along with utilizing some of the techniques on this program, such as the 3S technique. Be able to spot any negative energy approaching on your radar before it arrives. We need to practice at spotting certain negativity that comes at us, even if it's just by a few seconds that we're able to spot it. As we get better, we might be able to develop the intuition and foresight to further spot it up ahead. This is when you really get good. You develop clairvoyant energy towards where your energy is heading, and you automatically shift your energy so that it can yield the ideal results you seek and not allow it to plunder unexpectedly and be in a reactive state. Remember, the more we gain practice at clearing out negative thoughts, the better we will get at avoiding them, to the point that it almost becomes automatic. This is the point where we really internalize and execute our energy of duality, the ego and the higher self, to handle any pervading challenges. It begins with the negative mental coding. If we're able to detect it at its origin, then we will have a much better chance at nipping it away. And even if this negative energy seems to pervade and grow, we must enjoy the process of being able to detect negative energy, negative thoughts, and work towards improving this energy and bringing this energy into light with our higher self, while not leading with our ego self. When we begin enjoying these little challenges, we then attract a sense of healing and serenity that appears naturally. It's like we remove bad energies and clear the way for good energies to appear. Here are additional questions that you can ask yourself. Find the ones that will help you out the most and utilize them often. Does my negative self-talk kick in automatically at a particular moment during the day? What usually triggers negative self-talk and behavior? Does it go in waves with peaks of highs and lows? How do the actions of others affect my negative self-talk? How may I use my energy of duality to counter any negative self-talk? If this is an area that you feel that you want to get handled once and for all, then I encourage you to write out the answers to these questions. Write these questions into a journal. The really useful thing about this exercise is that these answers are ones that you can keep coming back to as often as you wish. Meditate on your answers, your responses, thoughts, and give them room to exist. Keep the answers nearby for when you need to refresh yourself. If we begin with the core of our mental coding, especially inner self-code that we need to rewrite, and personal energy that we need to rewrite, we will have a much greater success if we start at the root of our energy. Clearing out any negative energy that spurts up can lead us to have a much healthier, brighter, and productive mental coding within our energy of duality.